Do you know why we preach against religion so heavily? Did you know that religion or religious is mentioned in the Bible 5 times for religion and 2 times for religious? And every single time is negative? Did you know that? Tonight, that's what we're going to talk about. Why the Bible preaches against religion. I'm very excited for this topic. Before we begin, I want to give you all the verses that speak against religion, the 5 for religion and the 2 for religious. Acts 26:5, Galatians 1:13, Galatians 1:14, James 1:26, and James 1:27. Don't ask me why the concordance broke it out that way, it just did. Religious, of course, is Acts 13:43 and James 1:26. Here's the thing I want you to understand. Religion is deadly. Let me help you understand what religion is, especially in the eyes of the Father. Religion is a man-made construct that attempts to manipulate, guide, and force people to live life in a way that was not designed by God. Religion often takes a misunderstanding of the scriptures and then creates a scenario where we as believers have to live by what it is that's said. Here's the thing I want you to understand, and here's what we're going to talk about tonight. I want you to understand what it is to be free in the Lord. What it is to not have to live bound and confused, constantly feeling like God is out to get you and God is trying to hurt you. You see, the Bible was created for us. So while you have all these people out here who want to fuss about the fact that, oh, the Bible's not real, the Bible's not this, it's because they don't like what someone else has said about the Bible. It's not because they read it. They based their determination off what someone said, and then they came to a decision without ever reading it. You see, the thing about religion is that it pulls you away from Jesus. There are some religions that tell you you have to go before a man, and that man is the one who absolves you of your sins. No. The Bible tells you to confess your sins one to another. So while you are sitting down at coffee with your girlfriend, while you are sitting at a bistro with your buddy, y'all need to just sit down and talk about what it is that's going on with you. That's how we do confession. That's how we keep our spirit free. That's how we keep ourselves away from all the possibility of hardship that could potentially come our way. And see, when we focus on what the religious teachings are, whether or not we are going to observe Sabbath on Saturday or Sunday, all of that is working out your salvation with fear and trembling. Those are not divisive topics. Whether or not God created the earth in 7 literal days should not impact your ability to realize that every single tree follows a pattern. Every single human follows a pattern. And that's the thing that is really frustrating for those of us who walk in the kingdom, is that so many people are blinded by what should be a natural truth. Females are females, males are males. You can't miss the difference between the two. You see, religion tries to make things work. You can't preach a religion and speak against the things that God says. So for example, there are situations going on in the world right now, right? And there are some people out there who are working diligently to produce hate. And I want to tell you, I was in the office the other day. One of my assistants was with me, and I love this kid. I love this kid. But he said something. He said that a certain group of people were taking white jobs. Boy, I tell you what, he will never make that mistake again. Never again. We ended up on that discussion for about 45 minutes. He tried falling asleep. He tried doing all sorts of things so that he did not have to hear what was going on. And he got called on it because I said to him, I said, listen, you are too smart to believe this. And so we had to talk it through. Let me explain something to you. Religion allows you to think that we cannot come together as a group of people because we don't have certain characteristics. There are some people who live their life that way, but those people are on the wide road that leads to destruction. Listen, God was clear. You cannot hate your brother whom you can see and love God. They can sit back until the cows come home and say, I love God, I love God. They do not love God. They love the idea of a human-made God. The person who preaches and does not talk about how to access abundance because they are not out there accessing abundance is not someone that you want to be sitting up under. Listen, for so many years, we have been pushed to a place where we have to follow this pattern or that pattern, or somebody comes up to us and says, you're going to go to hell because you don't believe. Listen, no. The Bible has given you things that are problems. There are abominations that will keep you from heaven. He said those people will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. But here's what I want you to understand. When Jesus returns, heaven comes down to earth. The earth was made to be inhabited. It's going to be inhabited by us. There are going to be levels of people. Some people will be able to go up into the throne room. Some people will not be able to go. It's all in whatever design God put together. You see, when you get into that kind of thing of trying to figure out who's going to what level and all of that, you're getting into something that is beyond your scope of understanding. It's so far beyond your scope of understanding. And it doesn't mean that you're a favorite. God doesn't have any favorites. When we get caught up in religion, we start looking for favorites. Oh, we're the 144,000. Okay, so now here's my question to you. If you're the 144,000, the chosen ones, now that your religion is over 144,000, what happens to the rest of them? Oh, that's right. They become the great crowd. So then how among those in your congregation do you choose the 144,000? Oh, it's your leaders. That's right. No, because those are the ones who will end up being the least. You see, religion is blinding, and it's built on nothing but falsehoods and lies. If you don't understand that those falsehoods and lies kill people, they leave people bound and hurt. If you don't understand that, you will live your life in the wrong way. God didn't design that for you. Listen, the reason that life, that walk with God doesn't seem fun is because it's been poisoned by this thing called religion. And it's actually really interesting because if you go into Acts 13:43, one of the things that it says further down, if you keep reading beyond 43, I want to say you get to 45, 46, you read that the group of Jews, which in this context is not speaking necessarily about a group of people as much as it is a religious sect, okay? It's first their religion and then it's their particular race, okay? Because people always want to wage war against the Jews. Well, the Jews are the ones who put Christ to death. No, the religious people are the ones who put Christ to death, and they happen to be Jewish. But I want you to understand something right now. There's a group of white people out there right now who are putting Jesus to death. Are they putting him to death because they're white? Or are they putting him to death because first they are religious and then they are white? You see, it's the religion aspect that kills. It's the religion that falsely taught gives you a puffed up nature. And it's that puffed up nature that is the thing that brings you down to death. Because that puffed up nature has you thinking that you're better than you are, which is why the Bible tells us, don't think more of yourself than you ought to. It's already warning you that this is not the way to go. But people oftentimes don't want to sit back and listen to that. And so tonight, the thing I want you to understand is this. The more you hang on to the things of religion, the less you can hold on to the Father. It's serving two masters. You see, kingdom religion is very different. Kingdom religion gives me freedom. It tells me that I'm going to go out and make a mistake. And you know what's actually really funny? I want to bring you to a verse. The verse is Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is desperately wicked. Here's the thing. For many people, that's a problem because we like to believe that people are inherently good. The problem with that philosophy is that when given the opportunity to make a choice, more times than not, many people will choose to do that which is wrong. And when you understand that, you can begin to see the truth of the verse. And interestingly enough, let me tell you what then happens. Now, all of a sudden, instead of this being a negative verse, it becomes an empowering verse. Because if I know that I'm inherently going to make the wrong decision, then guess what? I now have the choice to make the right one. If I know that what I'm used to doing, if I know that what is common to man is to choose the wrong thing, now I can choose the right thing. And that's what makes kingdom religion so unbelievably valuable, is that you begin to see the word in a very different light. And when you begin to see it in that light, it begins to elude this light, this power, this unbelievable freedom that comes with it. The Bible isn't telling you that you're inherently evil. What it is telling you is that the heart is wicked. It's always going to go for what it wants before it's going to think about what's better for other people. If you understand that that's all that means, now you can make a different choice. You can pick a different side. You can decide, you know what? I need to stop thinking about me first. And I need to put somebody else before me. And now all of a sudden you're walking in kingdom religion. Now all of a sudden you're walking on the side of Jesus. You see, we always like to forget that Jesus could have called down 12 legions of angels. That's approximately 144,000 angels that would have wiped out every living thing on this planet. He made a choice not to. You see, it was in his best interest to call down those angels so he didn't have to go through what was on that cross. He didn't have to go through the whippings. He didn't have to go through hanging on the cross. He didn't have to go through any of it. But if he had done that, none of us would have had the freedom and the opportunity to do the things that he has for us to do. If you will allow yourself to understand that, then you no longer want to be bound by what religion tells you. You don't want to have to serve a certain way. You don't want to have to attend classes about stuff. You don't have to go into some dark, smelly booth and confess your sins to someone because they told you to. Now you just go over to your neighbor's house, have coffee, and say, I gotta tell you what I did. Now, if your neighbor is a gossip, don't go to their house. That doesn't end well. You have a freedom now that other people don't have. When you let go of this need, this incessant need for religion. Religion is about control. It's about manipulation. It is not about setting you free. Jesus is about setting you free. It's about letting you know the truth and then allowing you to make a decision based off of that truth. If you understand that the heart is desperately wicked, now you know how to put other people before yourself. And there will be a time where you will go the opposite direction way too far. But that's okay. Because eventually you will come back. Let go of religion and all the falsehoods that go along with it. And allow yourself to live in the freedom that God has made for you. Do me a favor. If you like this video, I need you to hit that like button and I need you to subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment and share it with your friends because after all, we want everybody to be free. I'll see you next Friday.